Welcome to Inside Santa Cruz. I'm Joyce Anderson, and we're all here to tell you about the spectacular Step into Fashion Designer Showcase, which is happening April 8th at the Coconut Grove. And I would like to introduce Harriet Manus, our chair.
And I'd like to introduce three fabulous ladies that are on my team for Step into Fashion. This is Sophie, and this is Sally and Mary. And they're fabulous workers, one of the 46 ladies that I have in my group.
Shannon, tell us a little bit about Palo Alto Medical Clinic and how we're all helping.
Thanks, Joyce. This year's event will benefit our prostate cancer awareness program and will help us purchase new technology for the detection of prostate cancer, which is the #1 diagnosed cancer for men in our community.
So today in our show, we're going to be interviewing fabulous designers. We have 7 of them. So sit back and enjoy the show. So Ellen, tell me about your beautiful pieces. You're wearing the silk scarves. A little bit about yourself first.
Okay. I am an artist, a painter, and a designer, specializing in hand-painted textile designs that then become many other things, some scarves and wraps and skirts, and there's some pillows and some artwork as well. And I started about 10 years ago. I didn't even know I was creative. I didn't know I had that inner artist. So this has been a real process of self-discovery for me over the last 10 years or so, as I found my medium, which is silk. Most everything I do is painted on silk before it becomes its final self.
They're beautiful too. I was looking at these pieces here. I love this, that you have a hood on this. It's gorgeous, and look at the colors.
Yeah, I do a lot of ponchos, and I like to be really playful with them. And sort of meet different women's, styles, and so they can uniquely express themselves. And so I've got those that love the hood, those that are a little more urban. They love, the leather.
Yeah. And I love the leather design. That's very
Thank you.
unusual. So, Deborah, welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Now, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started.
Well, I've been doing my business for 30 years, and I, as a child, sewed all my own clothes, never expecting it would lead to anything, just did it for fun. And I started out as a weaver. I wove fabric and made jackets, and that kind of launched my career. I did suit jackets, so my clients were lawyers and doctors and just business women. And then, I don't know, I kind of, about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I stopped weaving because my jackets got quite expensive. They were $900. The crash happened, and I go, whoops, the writing's on the wall. People aren't going to spend that kind of money. So then I got into fabric, and it was such an easy transition. I do a lot of fitted jackets. I mainly like the fitted.
Well, tell us about the piece there.
Yeah,
I noticed that you have a different, what kind of fabric have you used there?
I use all kinds of fabric, silk, wool, cotton, linen. This happens to be all silk. I buy it white, dye it, and then I do this patchwork on top, and then we sew around, and it's kind of something I created. I do it in a lot of different colors,
right?
Black with red stitching, black with white, whatever.
That sort of describes what a designer is, isn't it? Because you can have sort of patterns and make thousands of a shirt or something, but because you're a designer, I notice the way you have the squares cut. It sort of defines who you are as a designer, your style. And I notice you have some interesting work on the back of that jacket.
Yeah, I'm doing a new thing. I'm always changing. Like I'd say every 5 months, I have a whole new idea. It's not always easy. Like these, now I'm doing, this is fabric paint, which I never did before. And now I'm doing photo transfers.
Oh.
And so I'm doing that, and I'm doing more with pockets these days.
Pockets, right.
So what's nice is that I do these craft shows around the country, high-end craft shows, and my clientele, they come in and they want to see something new. So it keeps me on my toes, and I'm always changing my styles.
Yeah.
and my look and my fabrics. My muse is my fabric. I go to the fabric shows in New York, and besides creating my own fabric, I buy fabric and then kind of figure out what to do.
Yeah. Well, Ellen, tell me about now these pieces here, and this is beautiful. I wanted to look at your fabric design and the colors that are in here. So is this the silks that you have? How do you do that?
Yeah, so my real
Love
forte
that.
is the painting and the colors and and the drama, and so my intent is really to do fairly simple designs that showcase the fabrics. So I paint everything sort of like watercolor. Think of watercolor on silk.
Yeah.
And I have 2 sawhorses, and I roll out the silk and stretch it across the sawhorses, and then I'm just building up layers of color until I get to perfection, or maybe not.
Or maybe not.
Or maybe not. And even though I have one medium, you could say, which is silk, there are so many different kinds of silk that have so many different qualities. So even here I have a really light crepe, and it has a little more shine, and it takes the dye one way. I have an organza, which is stiffer and takes the dye another way. And so it's almost like painting on different media, which have very different qualities and personalities.
Well, I know people are going to be excited to go to your booth, but where do you live? I mean, where do you design?
So I'm in San Mateo.
Oh, okay.
And I have a studio in San Mateo, and work out of the Silicon Valley, and I try to bring in a little technology in my backyard. I have what I call my rocket ship steamer, which is where I have to steam all of the pieces that I paint. So it's a very labor-intensive process.
Deborah, where do you live? And where do you
I live
design?
in Santa Cruz.
Oh, you do? Okay.
And my working shop is in Freedom,
All right.
where we do all the work.
I always ask people, what's the most fun? I mean, this has got to be creative, but what's fun for you in this?
A lot of things are fun in this. I love what I do, and I'm fortunate that I made a business and supported my family.
That's fun.
Well, making money is really fun, especially two things. Number one, they try it on, they look awesome in it, and they give you money for it.
Yeah.
And it makes them happy.
And it validates you.
And then they come back. See, I've been in this for 30 years, so I have a real clientele.
Yeah.
They come back and they tell me, oh my God, I went to this bar mitzvah. I felt so good in that piece. Remember I bought it last year?
Yeah.
That is thrilling. And I swear, that I think is what keeps me going. I don't really want to retire yet, and that's kind of what keeps me going. Is like they just all my clients.
Ellen, about you, what validates you and makes this fun?
I think for me there's like 3 points of like amazing satisfaction. One is just in the pure creative expression, just to be able to get in there and just create something, anew that I didn't even expect. That's exciting. Yeah. So there's that juice. And then there's the connection with people. Like I love connecting with people around what I do, whether it's in a boutique or at a show or in my home studio, and somebody's they're just electric, right? They haven't seen it before. They want to understand my process. So I love the stories, and the connections with people. And then finally, like Deborah said, I love like bringing beauty into people's worlds, right? Like somebody who is touched by it for even a moment, or their day feels a little different because they just feel so beautiful, or transformed by something they wouldn't otherwise have and normally have in their wardrobe. So those things.
And people can feel excited because they wear something to an event and say, "Oh, I got so many compliments."
Oh,
and so
absolutely.
They want to come and share that with
they
you.
feel good
Yeah,
and they got compliments.
I think that's the uniqueness and the beauty of wearing a designer piece.
Yeah.
So we're going to tell our audience, don't forget,
Yes.
Ellen Brooke, Deborah Cross. Thank
Come
you,
to the
ladies.
show.
Come to the show. Go to their booths.
Yes.
Thank you so
Okay,
much.
thank you.
I want to welcome Norma Dice. She's one of our fabulous jewelry designers that's going to be displaying her wares at the Step Into Fashion Designer Showcase. And she's an amazing, amazing jewelry designer, and you're 95 years old, Norma. I think that's amazing. You've started a whole new career. You were telling me when you were 70?
Yes,
And you also teach classes. How many classes have you taught?
a number of people over the years. From the age 14 is the youngest, and I guess I've taught some people in the 70s.
You started making jewelry, you were telling me, when you were 70?
That's when I learned to do the wire wrap. I was making jewelry before that. In the younger years, my husband and I used to go out and hunt the stones, bring them home and cut them, and make the cabochons. But I wasn't doing the wire at that time. We had to buy the settings.
So this is what you do with the wire. You brought some of your tools here today, and I just to give people an example of the dexterity it takes to do some of the wiring. You already set some of the stones in place.
I start out by measuring this stone to get so I don't waste the wire. And you go around the stone and measure it, and add 4 inches for the bail at the top. And then you use half round wire and fasten the 3 wires together, and the center wire is a square wire, and the 2 outside wires are round.
It's quite an art, and also
So
you have to know.
oh well, that's what started me making jewelry, as I got my ears pierced and I didn't want to pay the price for earrings. So I wanted to learn to make it, and that's what started the whole thing.
So Norma, can you tell me about the pieces here?
This is Larimar,
Larimar.
the necklace and the beads, and it comes from the Dominican Republic. And the mine is flooded right now, so they don't know if they're going to be able to get any more or not.
Oh, really?
And how they got their name is they first found it out in the ocean. And the man that found it, his daughter was named Lara, and Mar for ocean. And so that's how they got the name, Larimar. And then they traced it up the mountain and found it where it was coming out of the mine.
Wow, that's a fascinating. Everything has a history. And tell me about this piece right here. This is what is this?
Well, this is a Kishi pearl. And what they think happened is that the oyster spit out the irritant that made the pearl, but it was still fastened. They kept putting it out more and more, and there's not any 2 of these alike.
Wow.
So every one of them you have to look at. See, there's the back of
the
it.
back of it. And what's the stone in the middle?
That's ruby,
Ruby.
and then these are ruby beads.
Amazing. That's a beautiful piece of ruby in there.
They're all individual and different.
What's sort of the value of this?
That is $85,
Oh, my goodness.
and the pearls are $80.
So they're 2. So the one piece you can buy, and then you can buy the pearls separate. Is
And
that
this
right?
this slides off and on.
Yeah. I wanted to show this necklace. I mean, this is amazing. Look at this piece here that you've made, and tell me how many. I mean, look at the work that goes into that. That's beautiful. Tell me what's in there.
Well, the story about this is I made 2 headpiece for a wedding, and then I didn't take a picture of it. So then I wanted to show my daughter what it looked like. So then I made some necklaces.
Oh, that's beautiful. So this was more like a tiara then?
It
For
could
wedding?
be used either way.
Oh, and then what is in there? Sapphires?
The Swarovski crystals.
I see. That's gorgeous.
But
Absolutely
that
gorgeous.
probably took, well, a day and a half, probably
Really?
8 hours to make.
It looks like it's so, and the work intensive. So you must go at it. And tell us about this necklace back here, that the pearls.
Those are Baroque pearls. Of course, they're all drilled in China. Probably the pearls come from China too, because I think most of Japan's lakes are contaminated, so the oysters can't live.
Well, these pieces are absolutely beautiful. And what would the price of this be?
This is $724.
Oh, so one piece could be $85, and this could be $785. That's
Yes, and
beautiful.
I have,
And the work, but you spend a lot of money then just buying the gems.
yes, because I don't just buy one.
Well, Norma, we want to thank you for taking the time and talking to us today, and we certainly want people to come and visit you at our expo.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you, Norma.
I hope to meet a lot of nice people at the show.
Well, you absolutely will. Thank you. Well, our next 2 beautiful designers are Michelle Paganini and Jill Pinot. And so, Michelle, tell us about your style and your design work that you have here.
So I work with upcycling, and that means improving value. So what I've done primarily is worked with men's shirts because the quality of the fabric is quite good and the construction is quite good. And I'd call my designs classic with an arty twist. So this is an example of 3 different men's shirts, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
with an arch up
awesome.
the middle, very flattering, some pleating, so really flattering for a lot of figure types. Here's another one with 3 men's shirts, and you can see that there's a sleeve on the side. And for those of us that have lost our waist, there's a mimic of a bust, waist, and hip on here, so you can get it right back just with that design on purpose as a design element. And I like to use double collars because it adds a little bit of flair. So really what I'm doing in this case for these examples is I'm turning a man's garment into a woman, or a man's shirt into a woman's garment. And then we have one more over here where this is actually the back of the garment. You can see I did a double collar again with a split. And I got this panel from a skirt. You might be able to see sparkles on there. This is a sleeve turned upside down, so it makes a nice profile like a cocoon coat. And the front also has a little bit of accent.
Oh, fabulous.
So you can see that I play with color,
Yes.
you know, really the opposite sides of the color wheel as well as more subtle combinations like the blouse that I have on.
And what you're wearing, you have
Yeah.
that. You have that pleat in the back, has a little flare. It looks awesome. So still stand up a little more and just turn around so we can just sort of see what you've done there. Very nice, very nice.
And in this one, it's on the front, you might not even notice it, but I replaced all the buttons. They were white like they typically are on a man's shirt. And I had extras, so I did just a little subtlety on here. I like the play of texture and color together, and sometimes really working in the same color scheme provides a little more interest.
Very unique and very different. And you also have patterns that you give people with.
I do. And patterns is not quite accurate. I don't know what else to say for people, but what I sell is instructions for deconstruction and reconstruction. So that anybody can go buy men's dress shirts, they can use my instructions, they fit their shoulder and the bust the way they like, and then everything else ends up being a custom fit.
Nice. Well, Jill, look at these beautiful pieces you have on your mannequins. Can we start with the ruching and the shawl on the first one? But a little bit about yourself. How did you start with your designs?
So I started about 21 years ago in March as a children's consignment store. I had a storefront of 250 square foot store. And I get bored quite fast, so I started taking all of these pieces apart and creating my own children's line.
Wow.
And from there I evolved. People were asking, oh, when are you going to do adults' clothes? And then I developed it into the women's wear. So I started pretty much about 15 years ago. I started bringing out my line.
And where is that?
We're located in San Mateo.
Oh, in San Mateo,
Yes,
okay.
and I've
perfect.
just moved to a 1,700 square foot store now, 3 years ago, also in March, and where I have opened up an academy for children as young as 8 years old, but interns, and internship programs that I offer for those who are passionate about fashion.
Sure.
And we're very environmentally friendly as well. So we have college students that come from all over the States to develop their skills and build up their resumes. And we have high school students that come in and adults as well.
Right. So
There's
these
lots of,
pieces are dresses. I mean, the one over there, this is beautiful. I love the color and the ruching on that, and the children's the design, very attractive. And I love the piece over here with the black and the gray. So is that silk? What kind of material is that?
Yes, it's silk, and then we have the bottom is actually a rescued dress that I have then transformed with. This is my new line of clothes that I have. I'm collaborating with the Bill Jackson, a photographer. So I have integrated all of his photography into my new designs, and we are moving on to doing fashion shows and representing our works at galleries as well. So I'm very, very excited.
Fabulous.
I think my forte is to find things and repurposing them for customers.
Well, first of all, I think it's so unique and so wonderful we're going to have both of you, designers at our show, because it gives people, so many great ideas what they can do. Men should watch out for their wives taking
I haven't used a single one of my husband's shirts. No,
you said, okay,
not one.
promise. And Jill, your designs, just sort of reconfiguring things, and it's just fabulous ideas. So, and you were telling me you actually took a class from Jill.
Well, I was a student at Kenyatta College, and Jill is very gracious in allowing people to come in. I actually went and interviewed her for one of my classes, and I was so impressed with what she was doing. It very much inspired me to look to see what could be done with existing clothing. So she's part of the reason I've been in business for just a couple of years now.
That is
thank you.
That is
It's
such a
just-
wonderful story. Women, I always call it women inspiring other women to do things, and the ideas are out there. Every designer that we're talking to today has that background. So much fun.
But it's great, I feel, with us designers here as a one-of-a-kind pieces, and how to express. We're not so much following the mainstream fashion industry, which is
Yeah.
sometimes a
Yeah.
little bit hard, and we're becoming all individuals, and that's what I hope, and I'm really happy that I could
And
be an
also,
inspiration.
You
I
did
know,
inspire me.
I
And
know.
I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
I loved it on the show we did together.
Yeah,
and
we
I
did a
really
fashion
liked
show
it.
together. Yeah,
Yes,
it was
I
great.
really loved it. Yeah, very
Well,
nicely done.
well, it was
Thank you.
perfect putting you two and interviewing
Yes,
you the
that
other
was
day.
really-
So be sure to look for Michelle Paganini and Jill Pinot. Oh, so look forward to the designer showcase, Step into Fashion. Thank you, ladies, for
I am
being
too.
here.
Thank you.
Hope to see you there.
Thank you. We'll see you soon.
I want to introduce two beautiful designers, and we have Linda McPherson and Elaine Levin. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So great to have you both here. First of all, Linda, tell us, well, you have sort of a stage name,
Yes, I'm known as Madame Le Yarn.
Madame Leon.
Madame Le Yarn. I've been Madame Le Yarn as a business for 12 years. Been doing this.
Well, this is gorgeous. I love this. Now tell us, is this in the pattern, or how you work?
Each one of my wraps, I have either ponchos like I'm wearing, or I have the rectangle or the big V-shape wraps. And I try not to do two of the same kind. I try to make each one different. And what you see is in the yarn. Like this one is variegated, and then I pick up the coloring in the fringe, and it's just enjoyable.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
How long does it take you the yarn, you're knitting, right?
I'm knitting it. I would say it could be up to 16 hours or so. I do take a break.
Right.
I have a husband, so I take a break and fix dinner. But it is a passion. It's a labor of love, and I just really thoroughly enjoy it.
They're beautiful.
Thank
They're
you.
beautiful.
Thank you.
So, and now, Elaine, tell us about your style. That you're wearing a beautiful piece with your necklace and the jewelry. Tell us about your designs.
Well, this has sort of evolved over the years, but it's basically a kimono wrap. One size fits most, hides your sins. It's just what I call a fun, happy jacket, sort of whimsical, especially the cantha blankets, because the designs are so random. They're basically old saris that have been hand-stitched together in India. And so when I'm working, I just have no idea what I'm going to end up with. I cut the pattern, and I just work with that. So it's always very interesting. The wool these are wool blankets from India.
Oh.
And I just find them exquisite. I'm a paisley fanatic, so there's a lot of paisley, and they're just gorgeous and just fun to wear. The necklace is what my partner, Lenore Symes, does, and everything she does is awesome, bold, asymmetrical, just very cool. So we have a very good working relationship. Things sort of complement each other.
Right.
And I sort of evolved my original jackets. I used to work with bedspreads from India, the old hippy-dippy
Right.
cotton prints. I made them from shower curtains and
Oh my.
sheets.
Sure.
Sometimes Target had really cool sheets, the shabby chic, or so it was fun. And at one point I had a jacket made from a shower curtain that was sort of like a parachute fabric. And people thought, oh, is this silk? I said, well, no, it's polyester, but I didn't tell them they were wearing a shower curtain.
So where are you located? Are you here in?
I'm in Castro Valley, the East Bay.
Okay.
And I work out of my home.
All right. Well, it's so exciting to have, such a variety of designers here. I mean, your work is so unique, and also just redefining, material, and it's so fascinating, and it's inspiration to other people to, to really use these things. Do you teach at all, or
No,
don't?
no.
Just do your thing.
I'm still taking lessons.
Oh, you're still taking lessons. Well, there'll be a lot of designers in the show. And too, Linda, what about, how many, you have these, are you here in Santa Cruz?
Yes, I live here in Santa Cruz, and I create from my home. I have my favorite chair and my favorite basket, my favorite little dog. But when we travel, I try to visit the yarn shops of the local, wherever we are, and I try to pick up fibers that I don't find someplace else. A lot of my inspiration, I think, comes from the Southwest, from maybe Santa Fe or Sedona. Our son lives in Colorado, so we make a lot of road trips to Colorado, and that gives me new input of new colors, new textures, new fibers.
And what's happening. Because there's just a sense, like with the other designers and people that we're going to have in the show, it really does inspire people to think differently, or just have a sense of style, rather than just wearing something that
and I think it makes you be more aware of your surroundings when you're traveling. And I'm sure you're the same way when you look at the colors and how the necklace blends with, that necklace could go with any jacket. It's just wearing those things.
And just creating, and also making you feel beautiful yourself.
Absolutely.
That creates keeping that youthful exuberance of being a creative designer. So wonderful to be able to meet both of you, and I'm going to encourage our viewers to be sure to stop by see your booth, and it's April 8th, I'm telling everybody, at the Coconut Grove. So we will see you both there.
Thank you.
Linda,
Thank you.
Elaine, thank you for
Thank you.
visiting with us today.
Thank you very much.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the show today. It was just fabulous interviewing all these wonderful designers.
And join us for a wonderful shopping experience at Step Into Fashion, April the 8th.
See you April 8th.